Hey guys, it's Justin, aka Hambone, just here to let you know a couple of things that we have going on with the channel. One, we have a Patreon. If you can and want to support us, you can do that. Little as $1. You can join the Discord. We also have a merch store where you can get some cool shirts, mugs, and stuff with all of our different shows and labels on there. And thank you for all of our supporters that have already been there with us.
Boom, what is good? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Milana, and welcome to another episode of Good Friends, Better Rivals. This week we are talking coaches, and dollar bills, because some people gonna get paid, some people may not get paid. But let's talk about getting paid with my main man, Caleb. Speaking of the man who gets you paid from betting the NFL, Caleb Ochoa. Caleb, how are you, my man?
I'm better than last week, so not great, but
Yeah.
slowly getting over it. But hanging in there.
Yeah. By the way, guys, we're gonna be talking conference championship games next week. The episode before the Super Bowl. So we're not gonna talk. We're not talking Bengals, Kansas City, and we're not talking Niners, Eagles. So if y'all don't, that's the reason we're not gonna be referring to them, because this episode is gonna be clearly of us unpacking our two seasons and looking forward to ahead of my group has about 21 free agents. We gotta pick and choose. The Giants gotta pick and choose who they want to bring back, who they don't want to bring back, and the Cowboys actually let go of 6 coaches. Caleb, break it down to us. Y'all let go 6 coaches, one of them prominently being Kellen Moore. Y'all mutually parted ways.
No,
And
no, that was not one of the 6 coaches. That was the
What do you
7th
mean?
coach, actually.
That was the 7th coach. All right.
The other 6
So,
coaches.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So break
Well,
it
I'll talk
down,
about
Caleb.
the first 6 coaches.
Talk about the first 6, and then we'll touch on the most the more not a most not the prominent, the most prominent coach being your OC. Who are the 6 you guys let go?
We got rid of running backs coach Skip Pete, defensive assistant George Edwards, offensive line coach Joe Philbin, assistant defensive line coach Leon Lett, assistant head coach Rob Davis, and quality control and analytics guy Kyle Valero. This most surprising to me was Joe Philbin, because I thought our offensive line, I thought he was doing a pretty good job, coaching them up, especially with Terrence Steele. He had a monster leap from his 2020 season to his 2021 season. He was garbage in 2020, and he made a huge leap, and he was a very good player in 2021 and in 2022. That just shows how much he had grown in a short amount of time. And then he grew so much that we let go Lyle Collins. We felt good enough about his play that we could let go a guy like Lyle Collins, because he was given the exact same play as Collins was
At a cheaper
and
price point.
I do attribute that to a piece of that progression into Joe Philbin's coaching, especially the job he did with a lot of the moving parts we had, and offensive line injuries this year, with Terry Steele going down and Jason Pierce having to plug in and Connor McGovern had to switch places and Tyler Smith going back and forth. I thought Joe Philbin did a good job of managing that. That's why it surprises me that he was one of the coaches to be let go out of the 6. Skip Pete also been there for a little bit. The running backs coach, a little surprising. That didn't speak well for Zeke's future, because they're kind of tied at the hip. They've been a very good relationship for a while. So we'll see how that affects Zeke's status with the team. And then Leon Lett was also a little bit of a surprise, just for the fact that Jerry has done a lot for him over the years, especially as a player, with all his legal troubles that he's had. And then, after football, he, obviously, was given this assistant. And he's been the assistant defensive line coach for a while.
He
Even
also got that
before
British dude.
McCarthy. Yeah, he was assistant to that guy. But he was even there before he was there. He was there when Garrett was the coach. So he's been there for a while. That was another one that surprised me. The other two guys I don't really know much about, but just letting go all these coaches just signifies that what we're doing in the last 3 years just hasn't gotten the results that we've been wanting. Obviously, we want to go farther in the divisional round of the playoffs, even though we've had 12-win seasons. We need to do more, to get over that threshold. And apparently, they're going to start with the coaching and try to mix things up.
So are they blaming the coaching for their shortcomings right now? Because I feel like we can.
Well, I mean, you
still
can't
got to
get rid of
play.
the players. Like just completely fire the players. I mean, they have contracts and whatnot.
So do the coaches
that have effects on the cap and all that type of stuff.
All the cap, yes.
Yeah. So it's not like it's like, okay, you're fired because you didn't do this. Okay, well then.
That's a good point. I forgot about the cap. Yeah, no. My thing is this is, so your X's and O's are pretty cool, man. But you still need the Jimmys and the Joes, and if you're the Jimmys and the Joes ain't performing, you kind of look bad. And I'm saying like, offensive line wasn't bad.
But that's also that could be because of coaching. I mean, are you not preparing them right? Are you not getting them ready for the situations that they're going to see?
But I agree with you, Joe Philbin.
Are you not getting them ready? Are you not motivating them right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't.
Part of it.
I don't know. So like with the running backs coach and the offensive line coach, with me, I'm like, you guys had to like make this kid who played left tackle was a little grabby. He was playing guard. Now then you had to bump him out back to left tackle. But then y'all put Jason Peters at guard one time. Then y'all made Tyron Smith play right tackle. And Joe Philbin had to do all of this. And then y'all moved Zach Martin from left to right, then back to right. And then you're like, so like Joe Philbin actually, I think he did. I think firing him made no sense. And I think with Skip P,
I agree with that. That's why I said it was the most surprising.
Same thing with Skip P. Like I don't understand why you're firing him either. I don't know why you're firing him because I personally I think if the running backs didn't
not a lot of production at that running back position.
Yeah, like how's that his fault? Give me some running backs.
The later part of this.
Your backup is Malik Davis. Like
I mean. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you already have Tony Pollard on his contract here. His contract's up, and Zeke is. We'll talk about him coming up, but his situation. But that's the deal. Like, you're gonna try to mix things up. So, if you're gonna get some new running backs in here, maybe you need new running backs coach. We'll see how that works out for them. But that's the direction they seem to want to go with. Just getting a new whole, pretty much basically a whole new staff and
new offensive staff
besides Mike McCarthy and besides Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn coming back.
Is the entire offensive staff going to be new? It's going to be a new offensive staff.
I don't think that's. I mean that. No, I don't think necessarily. I mean, our receivers coach is still there. Nussmeier is still there as the quarterback's coach. So I don't think it's entirely new. I think it's just those 6 guys. But
well, let's talk about the other side of the ball. Let's talk about the other. Well, no, not the other side. Let's talk about the main coach who got fired, Caleb. Your offensive coordinator. You mutually parted ways with Kellen Moore. What do you think was the reasoning behind that? And like what was going on? Because people were like saying like.
Yeah. Well, obviously, everybody knows that he's been interviewing for different jobs, head coaching jobs, and that he was at least that he was in the news. It says that he was strongly considered for those jobs. I don't know how strongly he was considered, but he went to interview those jobs, and he obviously didn't get hired. But I mean, he hasn't been doing a good job, at least in my opinion. They can say all they want. He did this and that for us, and anybody can, have their own take on that. But for me, he didn't do a good job. I think he was a big part of why we lost against the Niners. He didn't call good plays. He's a big reason why. I think he's a big part of why Dak had been having his troubles, why he's turning over the ball. Not calling good plays. Doesn't know how to set up plays. Doesn't have good routes for the receivers. Doesn't know how to scheme. He doesn't know how to scheme up guys being open, and that's a big part of Dak's turnovers. And
So
I
you're
don't
telling me,
think
Caleb,
Dak can
Caleb, you're
learn
telling
anything.
me, so you're telling me, Caleb, his playbook is like this?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm.
Except with but everybody running option routes and everybody running in the same direction, and then they all get stuck in the same spot and nobody's open. That's pretty much what happens, and then Dad can't find a receiver because nobody's open, and then he just tries to make something happen, and then he throws a pick. So that's kind of how our offense has been going. Um,
Well, the picks. Hey
he
man,
had some good games.
I'm not
I'm
blaming
not gonna
Kellen
totally say he
Moore.
was garbage.
I'm not gonna
No,
blame Kellen
I'm
Moore
not
on
even
Dak
saying he was
Prescott's
total
picks.
garbage because he had
Mm.
some creativity sometimes. He had some good games, but overall, I mean, I just think he was inconsistent of uh, calling a game, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't. And when we really needed it, he didn't do his job well. Um, but yeah, I'm like I said, I'm okay with him moving on from him. I didn't really like him. I don't think Dad can learn too much from a guy that he spent time in a quarterback's room with as a peer. I think you need someone to bring in an offensive coordinator in to help fix Dak's turnover problem and get him back right.
Who do you
And I
think
don't think
guys
you can do that
should
with Kellen
target?
Moore.
Who do you guys think y'all should target?
A guy with experience. I don't care who you target as long as he has experience, unlike Kellen Moore did, because Kellen Moore didn't have any experience when he was offensive coordinator. Don't get a young guy in here. I don't want anybody just the older offensive coordinator that's been around the league a while. That's who I would like to see that can actually help Dak and trying to fix his issues.
So you don't have a short list
Well,
of OCs.
no, and not really. I don't know who's out there right now.
Yeah.
But like I said, just someone with a lot of experience. That's what I would say.
All right. Cool. Lots of business. So let's move on to the other side of the ball, Caleb. Your defensive coordinator did not take any head coaching jobs this time around. He second interviewed with Denver and said no to them. He's sticking with Dallas. Why do you think he's sticking around, Caleb? He could have his own team now. Why do you think he's sticking around one more year?
Yeah, this this is the second year in a row he's done that. He took interviews, decided to stay. One reason is Jerry's a very good negotiator, very good. He's very persuasive when he really likes a
Just
guy to stay around.
throwing money at him.
He can get him to. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's probably getting paid like a head coach. Honestly, I don't really know the numbers, but I would assume that he's probably getting paid like other head coaches are getting paid.
Do you think,
Just because Jerry really likes him, really wants to stay him around.
Caleb, do you think this is like a an 85 Bears situation, but without the championship, where you basically had two head coaches,
Um,
one offense, one defense?
I don't think we have two head coaches because I think a lot of the players were. Yeah, I don't think it's that situation because Mike McCarthy wasn't solely no, he wasn't the coordinator. He didn't call the plays. Scott Moore did. That he was doing both. So I don't see that because I think a lot of the players do respect Mike McCarthy, both on offense and defense. I don't think it's the same situation at all. I just think Dan Quinn just is that good at being a defensive coordinator, and that's why we really want to stick around. I wanted to stick around. I think this is great news. This is great for us. It's because um, before the season, I said our defense is going to need to step up in early part
The early parts.
of the season. That's exactly what they did. They carried this team. Um, and then in the playoff game, the best wins excellent play calling uh, on the defense side of the ball. And he got hired in 2021, completely turned it around. So I think he's done an amazing job. He's a great coordinator, and I'm glad I'm just happy for this news that he's going to stick around. And as far as why he stuck around, I just don't think he likes the opportunities. I mean, he's interviewed for the Broncos head job twice. I think he just doesn't see that as like this place sucks, and I don't want to go be head coach there. Or
I don't want to be
any other
nowhere near Russell
opportunities like the
Wilson.
Colts or Cardinals or anything else like that.
Mm-hmm.
But even before Russell Wilson was there, he interviewed there last year as well. He didn't like it. He didn't like the opportunity then either. So I guess he just didn't want to coach there. Doesn't want to coach at any other place, and he maybe just waiting for the right opportunity. Maybe he's waiting for McCarthy to get fired. I don't know. So he can take over the Cowboys, but I think he just really likes it here, and just waiting for the a better opportunity then.
Better opportunity. Got you.
What's out there,
Well, Caleb,
I guess.
speaking of McCarthy, can you what about him? What's his future? He's now the play caller. Like what do you think is his next step in this organization?
You talking about
Yes, Mike McCarthy. I'm talking about Mike McCarthy, absolutely. Caleb, you with me? It's a little frozen.
McCarthy?
Yes. Well, what's his future? What's he gonna do in the Cowboys organization? Like he's not the play caller. What's his next step? Can he unlock anything from this offense that Kellen Moore didn't unlock? Like what's going on here?
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing here. I don't know how much he was involved in the play calling, how much decision making he had. Obviously, as a head coach, he should have obviously he should have the ultimate power of what to do. I don't know. He's already has like problem like time management and all the other stuff that he has to do with the game time decisions and all that.
Caleb's frozen. Caleb is frozen. All right, I'm taking Caleb out. When he unfreezes, we'll bring him back in. Let's talk about a little about the New York Giants. The biggest things about the New York Giants this coming off season. We're transitioning a little until Caleb comes back. Is contracts and money, right? And most importantly about our backfield, our starting quarterback Daniel Jones and our starting running back Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, he said in his media scrum afterwards that he's not looking to reset the market. He said that. So I'm not here to reset the market. I'm just trying to, just get mine, right? Just get mine. So during the bye week, actually, it was reported that the New York Giants offered Saquon Barkley. I think this is by Fox Sports. Ralph Vasharnio. I don't know how to say his last name. I apologize, Ralph. The Giants offered Barkley $12 million per season. Ralph said Saquon is trying to get paid 16 mil an average that Christian McCaffrey is getting, right? He doesn't want to reset the market. He just wants what Christian's getting on average of 16 mil. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. Saquon Barkley was our offense this year. Early part of the season, we ran him. We we gave him the ball more than once, and then later on we used him more as a a receiving back. There were just plays where it was literally to Saquon. So he has that too. He's a phenomenal receiver out of the backfield. He's a good running back. He's very, built right. He can run. He has good straight line speed. People getting mad like, how did he get caught? It was the injury. He was never a burner. He was never a burner. If you're a fast corner, you can catch Saquon. But when he puts on the Jets, he's usually gone. That usually happens. But yeah, he won 16 million. Did the Giants give it to him? I don't know. That's the thing, right? They gave him 12 because they're trying to use the injury and his bad season against him because it's negotiations. It happens. But he won 16, right? So are they going to meet in the middle at 14 or 15? We don't know. Or is Saquon going to walk? I don't want him to walk because you don't get running backs like Saquon Barkley. You don't just pick him off of trees. You know what I mean? He's a pretty damn good running back. And, we've seen it. Running backs are still a hot commodity, and they're still very valuable to an offense. So you don't want to let running backs that of, like Saquon Barkley, to walk out the door. So I personally would want to retain him. Personally, my theory is it ain't my money. Give him 16. I don't care. It ain't my money. I don't give a damn. I'm not paying him the money. Give him whatever. That's my motto. It ain't my money, not my worries. But the bigger conversation, going around the Giants space is Daniel Jones's contract, right? And people were like, how much is Daniel Jones going to command? How much he's going to command in the open market? I think he's going to command $35 million in the open market. I think someone is going to willingly pay him 35 million, which would make him about 13th to 10th highest paid quarterback in the league. Because at 35 million is Kirk Cousins. At 30 million is Matt Ryan. Kirk Cousins is tied for 10th. Matt Ryan is 13th. So I think Saquon Barkley Daniel Jones is going to get that money. Ryan Tannehill's at 29.5. So I think people are going to give Daniel Jones. They see what Brian Daboll unlocked on him. They think this is a good step, and they'll pay for potential. They will pay for projections. It happens all the time. And I think someone will pay Daniel Jones $35 million. $40 million? I don't know. 40? That makes him Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford tied for 8th. I don't think he gets 40. 35? I think he gets 35. I think it starts at 35. And if a bidding war ensues, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, it will reach to 40. But I think you give him $35 million. I think he's going to command 30 to 35 million. If you can get him on 30, 32, I think that's a win in Joe Shane's favor. But I think he's going to command $35 million in the open market. Either the Giants pay the 35 mil or someone else is going to pay the 35 mil. That's all I got to say. Because someone's going to do it. You know how these people are. They'll throw money at random quarterbacks, man. He's gonna get $35 million. I can see it, man. I can see it right now.
Well, dude, when they pay him $35 billion, do they also get Brian Daboll?
That's the question. No, they do not.
Okay. Well,
so, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Daniel Jones needs to think about. Does he want to take $35 million from someone not named Brian Daboll? Or does he want to take 30? Or does he want to take 30 to 32 to stay with Brian Daboll? That's the question Daniel Jones must ask himself.
Well, I mean, I think he would just take anything. And
yeah, it's true.
Think he would take the highest amounts.
Yeah, it's true. He could, but you can get, Nick Foles did that, and he went to I think he went to the Rams, and his career went to hell. Then he came back to Philly, and he won the Super Bowl. People forget, Nick Foles in a Philly jersey, pretty damn good. He got paid, but he became like I don't know. He was out of the league for like a couple of years. Then he came back. He was in Kansas City.
He has a statue now.
Yeah, he does have a statue now. He does. Him and Trey Burton. They both have statues. So Trey Burton and Nick Foles have statues. So I think he can get $35 million on the open market. Here's the thing about fans. People be like, 35 million? What? It ain't our money. It ain't my money. I don't care. You are what people pay you. If people think you a $35 million quarterback,
you've already spent. I mean, it's not that. It's just that you can't spend money on anything else.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. We have enough. We have enough space for him and Saquon. We do. The problem is we don't have enough.
But that's the thing. This is the point why they bring up the why you paying the guy that much, because of Kenny Galladay. Those type of players, you pay all that money for nothing.
Exactly, but this is not the same GM.
You just waste cap space, and that's why you guys.
But this isn't the same
That's
GM.
why you guys have no talent.
No, see, but here's the thing: this guy is gonna play. He's not Kenny Galladay. He's gonna play. And here's the thing too: Joe Shane may win it and make him go 28. We don't know. It depends on the negotiation. What Joe Shane does. It depends on what he does. You're comparing.
I'm just speaking to the fact of why fans get upset over why you get paid so much is because when you pay and you don't produce, then why then you can't get anybody else, and then you could have given that money to someone who.
That's a good point, Caleb. Produce. But at the end of the day, here's the thing, Caleb. It ain't my money. I don't care.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's not your money, but it is your team, and your team could have been better by spending that money more wisely.
Money somewhere else. I understand that, but here's the thing. Do I have a time machine? No, I don't. Can I go resurrect it? No, I can't. So I'm moving on.
Exactly. So that's why they're saying you should just not spend it right now and just have a lower price and spread it out a little bit more to have a more talented team.
Well, the big contract is going to come next year when Dexter Lawrence comes up. He's going to command the money because we picked up his 5th-year option, so we have him for 1 more year. So we have an extra year to negotiate. Could we re-sign him now? Yeah, we could. But I think Joe Shane's going to wait 1 more year to see if he is the goods, right? Because 1 year is great. Can you do it for 2 years? Can you do it for 2 years? Then you get your money. The key is here. It's like, here are the free agents of the New York Giants, right? Here are the unrestricted free agents. Unrestricted. If Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida. If they bring back Breida, cool. If they don't bring back Breida, don't care. Landon Collins, Jared Davis. All right, Landon Collins, I love LC. If they bring him back, they bring him back. If they don't bring him back, they don't bring him back. No skin off my back. Jared Davis literally was with us for like only 3 weeks. So I have nothing to him. And they made him guard a wide receiver for some odd apparent reason. I don't know why. Y'all here thinking he Fred Warner. You wacko. Like, he not Fred Warner. So I don't know why are you making him guard A.J. Brown. I don't know why he was guarding A.J. Brown, Caleb. I don't understand. I just don't get it. And Wink Martindale's getting head coaching jobs. All right, we'll talk about that a little later. And then you had Justin Ellis. I don't want to see Justin Ellis on this team. I don't want to see him on this team. I want a better backup for Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. I don't want to see him. Justin Ellis may be a nice guy, but I don't want you on my team. I don't. Then you have the offensive linemen in John Feliciano and Nick Gates. I think you re-sign Nick Gates because he's a good guard. He's a solid guard, and you need depth. So John Feliciano could play guard. The problem is they made him play center. We need a center. We need a proper center. We need to draft a center. You can't make him guards play center. John Feliciano is a good pulling center because he's actually a guard. He's a good pulling guard. So make him play guard. You know what? Draft a center, make Fleece and Nick Gates your guards. Or you draft a guard in Osiris Torrance out of Florida. Guards is the key. And defensive tackles. I don't, either you resign them and make them both guards. I think you resign them and make them both guards because they're guards anyway. They're guards. Personally, in my opinion. Then you have our punter and Jamie Gillen. Resign him. I'm cool with it. Richie James. Hey, man, wide receiver Richie James, he's okay in my book. Punt returner Richie James is not okay in my book. If you resign Richie James for a nice contract and he's wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, I'm fine with it. The problem is he was wide receiver 1 this year. That's the issue. That's the issue we have. Tony Jefferson, he's a safety. He knows Wink's system. If Wink comes back, you re-sign Tony Jefferson. If Wink leaves, I'll take it or leave Tony Jefferson, in my opinion. Marcus Johnson, take it or leave him. Whatever. It's Marcus Johnson. I don't really care. Daniel Jones, like I said. Our long snapper, Casey Creeder. He's a long snapper. He's doing his job. Resign him. Julian Love is the key. This is the defensive side of the ball, the key defender. He was our starting safety. He was one of our captains. He was our leading tackler. Can we get an upgrade, or is he the best we can get? That's the question we must ask ourselves. What scheme are we running? Because he's not Joe Shane's guy. Most of these guys aren't Joe Shane guys. Fleece is a Joe Shane guy because he brought him from Buffalo. But Matt Breida, same. But these aren't Joe Shane's guys. Joe Shane's safety is Dane Belton. That's the kid he drafted. That's the kid he wants. So does he replace him with Dane Belton and let Julian Love walk? Do they draft his replacement in the draft again? What does Julian Love, what is he in this system? I love Julian Love personally. I think we should re-sign him. I think he's one of our most important safeties and players because I feel like with Wink's scheme, you can't have enough safeties because he'll just throw 4 or 5 safeties at you. There was one time he had like 4 safeties on the field. One was playing linebacker, one was playing, like safeties. They've become Swiss Army knives in defenses. They can play a little linebacker, they can play a little corner, they can play a little safety. They've become that. And Wink Martindale deploys them like a rapid barrage of bullets. Like that's what he does. Just a bunch of safeties. Fabian Monroe. We can definitely get an upgrade on Fabian Monroe. Could we re-sign him still and make him like cornerback 3 or 4? I'm fine with that. But I don't want to see Fabian Monroe as cornerback 2. I just don't want to see it. And then you get to the wide receivers. You have Sterling Shepard. He says he wants to come back. Joe Shane wants him to come back. Everyone wants him to come back. The problem is the deal. He's already torn his Achilles. He's torn his ACL. What are we getting from him? But here's the thing about Sterling Shepard. He was never about speed. He was never about speed, right? Coming out of Oklahoma, it was like he's very crisp route running. One thing you don't lose if you tear your ACL or you tear your Achilles, you don't lose your route running ability. You do lose a little explosiveness, a little speed, maybe, but I think he'll be okay because he's more of a route runner. He knows how to get open using routes. He knows how to stem. He knows how to break free. He knows how to contort his body. He can do it. Darius Slayton. Love Darius Slayton. He's a burner, but he has a main flaw. You can't be a receiver with drop issues. I don't think they re-signed Darius Slayton. I think that's why Darius Slayton didn't start early on in the year because they didn't think they're going to need him. But the problem is Colin Johnson got hurt. Sterling Shepard got hurt. People are forgetting about Colin Johnson, Caleb. He tore his Achilles. Colin Johnson. But he was going to be one of our starting wide receivers. Imagine Colin Johnson and Isaiah Hodgins together on the team. So we're going to have Colin Johnson coming back as well. So Darius Slayton may be gone. Jalen Smith, I could give 2 bleeps about Jalen Smith. We need to upgrade our linebackers. You can get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of Jared Davis. We need better linebackers. Jihad Ward, I want them to resign Jihad Ward. But I affectionately call him Holy War because of jihad. Get it? Because his name is Jihad, right? And in Arabic, a jihad is a holy war, and that's my nickname for Jihad Ward. Even though his nickname is Hattie, big fan of the nickname too. But I like calling you Holy War because it's fun. And you bring the pain, my man. Re-sign him. He's the emotional core of the defensive line. He brings the juice. He does not relent. I want him back. I want them to re-sign him. Is it because I'm a big fan? Hell yeah. Am I being extremely biased? Absolutely. Do I care monetarily if we overpay? Not really. I just want him back. I really do. I just love Jihad Ward. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just honestly do. Have you ever had one of those players, Caleb, where you're like, overpay, bring him back? Who cares? You ever had that as a Cowboy fan?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of favorite players.
Who was it?
Well, obviously, I mean, after Romo had his first year, he's already his contract was already up. After that first
it's the quarterback. Of course, you're gonna bring it back. Somebody else, like a defensive lineman, a linebacker.
I'm just saying. I mean, not really. I mean, I guess other players like that. No, because I'm okay with just letting them go.
Wow, like no heart for these players. Nick Williams, I could take him or leave him. Really, we just need to upgrade depth.
Not necessarily, but not for if we needed them. Yes, like obviously, I wanted to keep Amari Cooper and just pay him. But that was because I just really loved him because we really needed him.
Yeah, we also need Jihad Ward. We need depth on the defensive line. I want to keep him. I want to add more pieces around him. Kayvon, Aziz, him. Nick Williams, same thing with him. He was good, but like he didn't pop off the screen, because every time they bring out Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, our defensive tackles were non-existent. So like he was one of them. It was him, Harry Mondu, and Justin Ellis. And I'm like, bro, like we can't have Dexter Lawrence playing 85% of these snaps. Defensive tackles are not supposed to be doing that. You need to give them some rest. So we need to upgrade behind them. Then we have O'Shane Ximines. He has not panned out. He's not coming back. He barely played. And when he did, he barely did anything. I didn't hear his name pop off the screen when we played. It was always Jihad Ward, Kayvon, Dexter Lawrence. They were, like in the preseason, yes, but preseason's preseason. Who gives a damn? It's not these games mean nothing. So he's not coming back. So my theory is O'Shane Ximines ain't coming back. I think Jalen Smith not coming back. Marcus Johnson is not coming back. Justin Ellis is not coming back. We need better depth on those pieces. That's the thing we need. We do need to resign Isaiah Hodgins, but he's like some type of weird restrictive free agent. So we have some help in that category. But yeah, we'll keep him. Now moving on to our coaches, like you, Caleb. Our coaches are in some stuff, but unlike y'all, we're not firing our coaches. Our coaches are being poached. So Wink Martindale has had some head coaching interviews with the Colts, I believe. I think somewhere else. I think it's primarily
we didn't technically fire them. I mean, their contracts were just up. We just chose not to renew them.
Okay, then all right, you didn't renew them. Mike Kafka was in the running for the Carolina job. He's in the running for the Colts job. Martindale's also in running for the Colts job. I think the other jobs that are open are Denver and Arizona and Houston. But Houston's looking at DeMeco Ryans. So he's being looked at for that. Kafka's also being looked at Houston. But here's the thing. The biggest key is our quarterbacks coach, Shea Tierney. One of the keys to Daniel Jones' development, as well as I believe, where was Shea before this? I think Shea was either in Kansas City, or no, he was in Buffalo. He was the Buffalo Bills assistant quarterbacks coach. So he was Kent Dorsey's right-hand man. He was also in Alabama as an offensive assistant with Brian Daboll. So he's been key as our QB coach, helping Daniel Jones progress. So I don't want him to leave. I want him to stay. But unfortunately, Tampa Bay's interviewing him for the OC job. OC jobs come with a higher pay bump, more responsibility, and a higher chance of getting a head coaching job in the future. So if we lose Shea, I'm gonna be sad. But if he leaves, he leaves. It is because the key is Brian Daboll. But I don't want Shea to go. I want him to still be our QB coach. I don't want Mike Kafka to go. I still want him to be our OC, but they're in the running for these jobs. So we'll see. They may leave, they may not leave. If Vic Fangio is now the defensive coordinator in Miami. And they've made him the highest paid coordinator in the game. If you want to keep these guys and you value them, right? If you value them, you cut the check. You cut the check, dog. Because here's the thing about QB, quarterback, coaches' contracts, like we said earlier, they don't count against the cap. You cut the check, and no one's gonna say nothing. John Gruden got $100 million. And we kept moving. Cut the check. Yeah. If you value them and you want them to stay, cut the check and tell them you don't want that job because you're gonna have to deal with Jim Irsay. Do you want to deal with Jim Irsay? By the way, Jim Irsay is really liking Jeff Saturday. So, hey, Jim, hire Jeff Saturday. Wait, don't hire Jeff Saturday because you'll ruin Jonathan Taylor's career. I need him to be good for my fantasy team. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I can't believe I just said that. Oh, my God. I feel horrible. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So, if you value them, you cut the check and you keep them. Because here's the thing. You give Wink Martindale more weapons, more depth. Because the man was playing his scheme with Nick McLeod, Rondarius Williams, backups, cornerback 4s and 3s. Because in Wink Martindale's system, you draft man-to-man corners. That's why you drafted Cordell Flott. This is where you drafted Cordell Flott, Caleb. But when we drafted him, I told LBHT, he was a part of a contingency who told Bo Pelini, we're man corners. We don't play zone. When Bo Pelini was the defensive coordinator at LSU, he wanted to do zone. Cordell Flott was like, I do man. We're all man corners. So you drafted Cordell Flott as a man corner for Wink Martindale, who runs a lot of man because he blitzes a lot. And you know what? So you want to add more, you want to add more corners that way. So, so you give him more corners, you make Wink come back, you fully evolve. Is Wink Martindale a fully realized coach? Because in Baltimore, they had a lot of man corners and their defense was pretty damn good, and could we do that? Absolutely. Because here's the thing, Caleb. Here's the thing. Brian Daboll showed y'all why he was the right hire during the season. He showed us that y'all chose the right man. You see what I'm doing? Good. Perfect. Right? This is where Joe Schoen proves to us he's the right man for the job. Because a lot of Giants fans didn't prefer Joe Schoen. There's other people who preferred Adam Peters. Some people preferred Ryan Poles. This is where Joe Schoen earns his money. This is where it earns his money. Because he assembled a nice offensive a front office with other people who are gems in their organizations. There is someone in our organization that is a gem that I don't want to talk about because I don't want people to get an idea to steal him to be their GM. So I'm not saying his name, but I say is this: he's gonna do a great job. This is where
they're watching.
You know what? Other fans maybe. You don't know, Caleb. You don't know our fan base. Our fan base could be watching. You don't know. Shout out to our fan base, by the way. Love y'all. All 35 of you. Love you. We're growing. We used to be at 15. Now we're at 35. Or is it 21? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the problem I'm saying is this is where Joe Schoen makes his money, Caleb. This is where our executives make their money. It's negotiations with star players and contracts, DJ and Saquon. Can you get them on cheaper deals? Can you win in negotiations? Finding which free agents to re-sign. Which ones? Which people do we have? Do we want to re-sign Julian Love? Do we want to re-sign Jihad Ward? Hodgins? This is where you make your money. And then to retain, do you want to retain your coaches? You want to cut the check. And then here it is, going into it, the draft and free agency. This is where you make your money. This is where Joe Schoen shows everyone who were like, I'm not, Joe Schoen's cool. This is where he proves us all wrong. This is where he makes believers, he has some doubters. Because again, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still doubting Joe Schoen a little because this is where his money's being made. He found Isaiah Hodgins on the waiver wire. Perfect. That's a good step. But this is where you make your money, Joe. This is where I'm in Shane we trust. This is where I'm trusting you, Joe. This is where you make your money. This is where you make your money. Because there's some let me tell them. I think there's where is it? I'm trying to find right here. The deadlines. March 7th is the deadline for designation of franchise or transition players. So franchise tags, transition tags. 13th to the 15th is when contract negotiations start. And then the 15th is when the league year and free agency period begin at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. And the trading period for 2023 also begins as well after expiration of all 2022 contracts. So this is where he makes his money. This is where Joe Schoen makes his money. I'm watching Joe Schoen. This is all him. Brian Daboll has made me a believer. I believe in Brian Daboll. He did that during the season. During the season is when your new coach makes you a believer. And the off season after you get your new GM is when he makes you a believer. So it's the off season after you've been hired. All right. People are going off your books. Kenny Galladay's not coming back. You're freeing up a lot of cap. What are you using it with? Who are you targeting in the draft? Who have you located and gleaned to be franchise pieces from the free agents coming up from your team? Do you think all of them are free agents are good franchise pieces? Or do you only think only 3 of them are? Do you only re-sign Julian Love? Do you only re-sign Jihad Ward? Do you only re-sign Daniel Jones and Saquon and nobody else? What do you see? Who do you value? This is where you're making money from Joe Schoen. Caleb, your thoughts?
You're
No
still kind of
thoughts?
freezing for me.
How about now? How about your thoughts now?
No, you're just kind of freezing for me.
Oh, I'm freezing. I'm not freezing.
I
How
know
about
you're
now?
not. I am, but it's just freezing on my screen.
Oh, okay. Now you're actually pretty good. I can see you. You're not freezing. You're doing good on my end, honestly. But Caleb, your final thoughts on the Cowboys? Can you hear me now?
As long as I'm good on yours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can hear you, but it's just a little scattered.
All right. Cowboy thoughts. Finals.
But you can hear me, so that's good.
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
talk, even though. Um, okay. Yeah, I just want to finish up on McCarthy. There was a quote by Jerry Jones saying that he wants him to coach as long as Tom Landry. Um, Obviously, I'm not saying that he wants him that long no matter what he does. Obviously, he's saying that because he wants him to accomplish the things that Landry accomplished as far as winning. Um, but that's just Jerry. He's a very loyal guy. When he likes a guy, and it's one of his guys. He did that with Jason Garrett, holding on to him way too long. Um, and if McCarthy keeps losing, that might be a problem if he wants to keep him on too long, like he did with Garrett. I thought that was a mistake that we did. Kind of wasted those years with Garrett, even when he was not winning for us. And then finally, Zeke um, said he was willing to take a pay cut to stay with the team. Um, he's owed $10.9 million in 2023. Um, like I said earlier, with Skip Pete going, I don't know how much that affects the decision. He's 28 years old now. He wasn't very productive in the latter part of the season, and I don't know how much he has left in the tank going forward. I mean, he looks good in the beginning of seasons, both last year and this year. I think he looked really good in the beginning of the seasons. As the season goes on, he starts to really wear down, and it really shows. I don't think it's all on him. I think a lot of offensive problems when Terrence Steele off the line problems happened when Terrence Steele went down. We couldn't run block very well because it didn't show with just him. I think it showed with Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard couldn't run in, against the Niners either, or even for the last few games. Um, he wasn't running well either. So it wasn't just Zeke that wasn't running. Then I mean, both running
Then he
backs,
broke
we
his
just
leg.
didn't have a run game.
Do you resign Tony Pollard off the broken
Yeah.
leg?
Now that's the thing. We did that with Michael Gallup. I mean, Michael Gallup was coming off an injury. We signed him, and it was a mistake because he didn't do anything for us. He wasn't good. Is Tony Pollard going to be the same Tony Pollard after his broken leg? Obviously, they're different injuries, and everybody heals different and all that stuff. But do we really want to do the same thing we just did and sign a guy with big money and coming off an injury? If he's not going to be the same, I don't know if we do that. There's a lot of speculation. We're going to put on the franchise tag. Honestly, I just let both of them go. Let's just draft the guy. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to pay a running back anymore. After what we did with Zeke, there's plenty of running backs that come in the draft every single year. We see um, rookie running backs. Rookie running backs have great years. Um, So I say we just draft one. And I saw Mel Kiper having us taking Bijan Robinson. That would be my dream to take. As a Texas Longhorns fan, I would love for us to take Bijan Robinson first round. If we have the opportunity to do so, that would be my pick.
All right, Caleb, that's the show. Thank you. Where can people find you, my man?
All right. You can find me at NFL Caleb 22 on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on this channel doing betting the NFL one more time next Wednesday before the Super Bowl. We will have all parlay, a bunch of not parlay, bunch of prop bets for you. As much prop bets as we can find. for that Super Bowl. And I went perfect last Super Bowl, so you're definitely going to want to tune for that because I do pretty well when it comes to that game. And then you can find my articles that go along with that show on letsgetreadynetwork.com.
Yep, I kind of put it on too early, but I left it on there because why not? Go to the website, guys. Go to the website. Letsgetreadynetwork.com. Go get that money. Go get that money, dog. Go get that money. Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Get the money. Want the money? Get the money. All right. All right, guys. I'm Ferris Muthana. You can find me at Ferris
So one more chance.
One more chance. Get the money. All right, guys. I'm Ferris Muthana. You can find me at Ferris Muthana on Twitter. Find me here every Monday, 3 o'clock, live or pre-taped. Our show, Good Friends, Better Rivals. And also on the entertainment channel. Fridays, 3 o'clock. Me and Dagan are reviewing Rocky. We actually reviewed Rocky 3 last week. Coming up on the 27th, Rocky 4, the movie that ended communism, baby. Bam. So me, Dagan, are gonna be reviewing that. We'll release Friday the 27th. We've already released number 3, starting out on the other channel. On the Let's Get Ready Network. Also to our Last of Us reviews, me, Justin, and either Matt or Alex every night review The Last of Us, the brand new show on HBO Max, where as I play it, we review it as I play it. Our last review, got some good stuff. I did die a couple of times. It was a little fun. So that was pretty nice. But that's pretty much it, guys. So y'all have a wonderful night. Stay safe, and we'll see y'all next week when we talk AFC Championship games, NFC Championship games, and preview the Super Bowl on the 12th. Stay safe, everyone. Peace.